In this video, we will create another IAM account in AWS, this time using our administrator account. Our administrator account is pretty powerful, not as powerful as our root account, but still pretty potent. Therefore, we don't want to use it for too many activities unless we have to. We really only want to restrict its use to administrator activities such as creating accounts and the like. If we were actually building services in AWS, and if we want to programmatically upload items to AWS via, say, S3, we want to use another less powerful account for that. In fact, a lot of times we will have multiple different accounts with multiple different sets of policies attached to it. In this case, we are just going to create a single account with access to about 4 services to start out with. And over time, we will expand the access rights, but for now, we're just going to show you how to create this account and provision it for a handful of important services that we will need for this book. So I'm going to go to IAM, click on Users, and Add a User. Our application deals with churn modeling, so I'm going to call the user churn model. I want both programmatic and console access. I'm going to use a custom password that I'm just going to paste in. And for my purposes, I am not going to require a password reset. All right, so I'm going to attach existing policies directly. AWS has many different types of policies, and we can use them off the shelf to kind of make our lives a little bit easier. Later on, we will create more specific policies, but for now, in this account, we actually need it to have pretty broad access because we're going to be provisioning some pretty powerful services with it. So I want to give it EC2 full access. I want to give it S3 full access. Again, these are pretty broad permissions, but for our purposes, because we are going to be spinning up some pretty broad services, we do need them to be pretty powerful. I want RDS full access. That's how we will be able to spin up a MySQL database. And lastly, for now, I want a DynamoDB full access added. We will add more services later, but again, that's a good starter for now. I'm not going to add any tags to this. I'll do a quick review. Username is churn model. I want both programmatic access and management console access. And this looks like a pretty good starter set of policies to me. So we will create our user, and boom, there we go. We have our user. So I'm going to close out of that and then click on our user. Again, I will want to make note of this console sign-in link because when I sign into the console using this user, I will want to use this URL. Again, I would very much recommend that we use MFA on this. So at this point, you should have gone through that process twice, first with the root account and then with the administrator account. And just go ahead and click Manage and go through that process again with this account. That just adds a nice little layer of security for you. And one other thing we need to do is we need to take note of the access key. So there was an access key created for this user. I'm going to make that inactive, and I'm going to create an access key, and I'm going to download the CSV file. So this will have an AWS key ID, and it will have a secret access key ID. And these will go in your user's bash profile, so you can programmatically use AWS via the SDK Boto3. This will also be useful for using the AWS CLI. And all of that has been discussed previously and will be discussed more, but it's really important that we download those keys. So what I would recommend is you put those in your bash profile. Again, that will be discussed more, and then just delete that CSV file so it's not hanging around on your laptop. So that is how you create a user with your administrator account.